If you're planning to buy a home in the next 12 months, right now, November 2023 might be one of the last remaining opportunities to buy a house at a lower price and also not to be worried about additional expenses in addition to closing costs and down payment. If you're interested to hear more, this update is for you. Okay, today is the middle of November 2023. This is officially starting to be one of the best opportunities to buy a home, especially if you are strained for down payment, if you have constraints on how much you can spend on a monthly payment. Why? So on the screen right here in front of me, you're seeing statistical information about prices in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. And just for your information, Dallas County, Collin County, Denton County, and Tarrant County are represented by different colors in this graph. So why did I say that right now might be the best opportunity to buy the house at the lowest price in the next 12 months? Well, that is because we're entering the holiday season. During the holiday season, two things tend to happen. Number one, the sellers become very anxious to sell the home. Number one, before the holidays, they kind of want to put that experience of selling the home behind them and go into the new year with new house or with their plan in progress. And number two, this is where the taxes, the real estate taxes, become due at the end of November, December, January. So a lot of the homeowners want to sell their home before they have to pay the real estate taxes. So what did that mean to you as a buyer? It means that in November and December, the sellers are twice and sometimes three times as motivated to sell the home and close in the home, or at the very least know when the closing in the home is going to be in this year, because that was on their to-do list for this year to do. And many of them are willing to give you concessions, reduce their price, meet you halfway on repairs, help you to pay down some of your closing costs, help you to lower your monthly payment, all for the purpose of the psychological relief of knowing that they accomplished the task that they established for themselves to do before the first of the year. That's number one. And number two, a lot of sellers who didn't sell in previous months are deciding that this is their do or die kind of a scenario, and a lot of price cuts start to happen. And as the price cuts start to happen, it has this kind of a domino effect on the surrounding areas. So right now, if you look, so we're looking at the prices in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. Notice that all counties, so red one is the Collin County, green one is the Denton County, blue is the Dallas County, and the black is the Tarrant County. Notice that all counties, the prices are currently pointing down. If you look at the statistical analysis of the previous year, you will notice that in every year, this is 2020, this is 2021, this is 2022, 2023, and this is us now. If you notice that in every year, the lowest prices that were usually on record were in November/December of 2022, of that year. So look at how the dips are happening. Dip, 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 dip. So as you can see, very predictably, the prices are falling, but they're falling before they start to rise again. Notice that every year after this dip, what do we see? A price increase. another dip, another price increase, another dip, another price increase. So what do you think is going to happen after this dip? We're going to have another price increase. At the very least, if the statistics hold for this year, the same as they've been holding for the last 5, 7, 10 years. So that is as far as prices. So right now, your price is important because not only does it help you to have a lower down payment, but it also helps you to pay a lower monthly payment that you otherwise would. So if you're looking to make a move, then waiting until January is typically not the best move, because notice what typically happens in January. So this is January here, increase. Another January here, increase. Another January right here, increase. So if you're thinking, I'm going to spend the holidays with my family and then buy the house, notice that if you wait till January, the chances of the home prices starting to increase is really, really high. If that doesn't bother you, then that's okay. But if you're looking to minimize your monthly payments for the next 30 years and minimize your down payment, then this is something to be aware of. Also, during this time, December, November, October, many families are settled in. They say, you know what, the weather outside just is, once I'm home, I'm not going out. So what that does to the sellers is the sellers realize that the number of buyers buying, especially now when this daytime saving thing kicked in, and everybody is hating the heck out of it because it's so dark outside. It's hard to show a house in the dark. It's hard to get people to come out because it's dark. People just don't feel like leaving the house. They feel like settling in front of their TV and putting on a favorite movie. But the sellers still need to sell. So what happens is the number of buyers who are currently shopping for a home, not from their sofa, not from Zillow, but actually driving to see a home, is significantly reduced. And because it's significantly reduced, number one, chances of you having to pay above asking because of the multiple offers is much smaller, almost non-existent. Number two, because there are fewer showings, the way that the sellers feel is that every buyer is now suddenly their best hope to sell their home within this year. So they are willing to go and offer you price concessions, assistance with down payment, whatever you need. They're going to ask you, how can we help you to buy our home? So the competition is much smaller. Shows per listings, like for example, if we look at the shows per listing, you see right now there is less than 5. In some counties it is 4 to 5 people total 4 to 5 people looking at a house, compared to, for example, in, let's just say, in March or in May, when there was 10 people, twice as many people shopping for a home per house, on average, not in every house. The point is that this is one of the lowest number of people shopping, as I mentioned, daylight savings, bad weather, people just not feeling like getting out. People are celebrating with their families, decorating their Christmas trees, whatever they are doing. They're not visiting the homes. But if you're visiting the homes, you could have a real steal. So for example, if you're approved for a certain amount of money, let's just say you're approved for $350. If you're shopping, let's just say in March, in May, or June, a huge number of people are shopping at the same time. The seller is feeling like in their market. So you're more likely to buy a smaller home in not as nice neighborhood in June, July, May, etc. Then right now, if you shop right now, you might end up with a bigger home in a nicer neighborhood for the same or even less than if you paid in the summer or in the spring, because there are fewer shoppers. Okay, so that's important. Now also let's take a look at the inventory. So on top of everything, sorry, it's updating. On top of everything, the number of homes right now, it's probably one of the highest that we're going to see through the year. So right now, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So this is January of last year. Notice that up until April, the inventory was actually quite low. Inventory means the number of homes available for sale. Inventory was quite low, but then it started to increase in May, June, and now it's pretty much at its peak. Its peak or close to its peak. It means that from a standpoint of you buying a home, the homes that are currently available for you to see on Zillow are almost at their maximum for this year. You have the greatest selection, which is why I said that if you're smart enough, if you're willing to go against the crowd, if you're willing to do things at the time when other people are not doing it, remember Warren Buffett said, when everybody else is buying, you wait. When everybody else is not buying, that's when you buy. So because the inventory of homes is at the highest right now, you have the greatest selection at the smallest prices. This is the perfect formula for winning in real estate. You buy low and hopefully eventually you sell high. So this is as far as the inventory. Also, currently, do we need to offer the seller as much as they're asking to? So hold on, it's crunching the numbers right now. So what we see right now is that 100 right here, do you see this little number 100? This is the seller's asking price. We'll just say that they're asking for $300,000. This line right here means that if the line falls here, it means that they're asking for 300, and the offer that they're receiving are also 300. But what happened recently after July? The offer started to become lower. So right now we're seeing that the statistical offer that people are offering is approximately 97% or 97, 98%. So about 2% less than the asking price. So what is 2% less than the asking price? So let's just say the house is 300. 1% of 300 would be 3,000. And 2% would be 6,000. So right now, the average offer that the sellers receive is expected to be about $6,000 below their asking if the house is $300,000. Make sense? Okay, so compared to the summer where a full price offer was all but expected. So just right off the bat, not only are the prices are already lower, the prices are already lower, and they're willing to help you with closing costs if necessary, but also you can make a smaller offer. So it's like the trifecta of a good thing. More homes at lower prices, and you're allowed to offer a smaller, you're allowed to offer a lower, make a lower offer on a home. And it's not unexpected, people understand it, because it's the holidays. Let me see. Days on the market. So days on the market for you, it doesn't really matter as much. The only thing that I can say is that right now, if you are on Zillow and you're seeing a house that you would like to visit, statistically speaking, you have between 15 and 22 days, just depending on which county you're in, to go see this house before it is expected to be bought and taken off the market. So if you're in Dallas County, you have about 2 weeks. If you're in Collin County, you have about 3 weeks, 22 days. Denton County and Tarrant County are all in the same 3-week mark. So if you're looking at the house on Zillow and you like the home, go scroll down and take a look at how long it's been on the market, or 7 days on Zillow, 15 days on Zillow, etc. If it's approaching the 15 days mark, in Dallas at the very least, the chances are that home is about to go under contract. So you better get up and go see this house. And if it's in Collin, Denton, Tarrant County, then by the third week, expect the house to be gone. So if you're seeing a house that you like, drop everything that you're doing, call your lender, make sure that you have a pre-qualification letter. And if you don't know a pre-qualification letter, it's okay. Call me. My phone number will be below. I will explain to you what the pre-qualification letter is and how to get it. But if you see a house that you want or you like and it is within your budget, call the lender, get a pre-qualification letter, and then go see that home before it disappears off the market. Okay, a few things about getting a lower monthly payment and a lower down payment when you're purchasing your home. Right now is the time to ask the sellers for financial assistance with buying their home. Right now, as we have seen in this picture, everybody who is trying to sell a home are trying to sell a home right now before the holidays, before the business year closes. So if you approach them and say, I'm willing to buy your home, but I have a financial restraint. I do not have enough money for a down payment. I do not have enough money to pay down some of my closing costs. I don't have enough money to buy down my interest rate. And you tell them, look, your house has been on the market for 4 weeks now, and you don't have any offers. So how about we strike a deal? I will help you to solve your problem if you help me to solve mine. So this kind of negotiation becomes very easy at the end of the year when everybody is trying to clear their inventory. That goes twice as much for new construction. Those home builders, they took out loans. Those loans, they're currently a net loss for them on their profit and loss calculations. If they go into the next year with a big loss on their paper, they may not get loan for more homes next year. So it is super important for them to close those loans and go under contract before January 1st. So they're willing to throw in everything in the kitchen sink in order to minimize their outstanding loans and to show as many homes sold as possible. So next year they can show nice tax return to their lender and get more money to buy more land to build more homes. Make sense? So by approaching them and saying, I need a discount in a home if you want me to buy it, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping the economy. Win-win for everybody. Now, last but not least, this year, something very important is happening. And that is, from a standpoint of buying homes, your life as home buyers is about to become significantly more difficult. Your process of buying a home is about to become significantly more expensive and legally uncertain. Why? What am I talking about? There is a big lawsuit that is currently making its way through courts. That lawsuit was filed by home sellers against realtors because in the past, and in right now, when we're talking about right now, November 2023, your assistance with buying a home from a realtor is free to you. When a realtor works with you to help you to buy a home, right now you're not spending a penny, not one penny, paying for a ton of legal advice, financial, know-hows, help with inspections, help with appraisals, help with everything. Tons, hours and hours and hours of assistance from highly qualified realtors comes to you at zero cost. Guess who pays that cost right now? Home sellers. Builders and home sellers are paying two different realtors when you buy a home. They're paying their own realtor who was helping them, and they're paying your realtor. And the cost of that representation for you. So how much do you cost to a seller when you buy a home? You're writing an offer, and guess what? Your realtor is working. Who is paying for that? The seller. So how much is the representation that you're currently getting for free costs? Anywhere between $6, $9, $10, $15, $20, sometimes more than $27. Who pays that cost now? The sellers. The sellers very often pay $27 to their realtor, $27 to your realtor, so their total cost of sale is over $20, $30, $47, sometimes more, sometimes less, depends on the price of the home, for you to have every assistance at your disposal. But guess what? The sellers in another state felt like that was unfair, that they're paying for 2 realtors and you're getting services for free. They filed a lawsuit and they won. They won the lawsuit. So starting in 2024, and we don't know when, it's currently appealing, the court system is doing its thing. It's going through the appeal process. Additional lawsuits have been filed. It's going to be a legal mess for a little bit. But long story short, based on the decision of that court case, in 2024, at some point, maybe in the beginning of the 2024, the spring, the summer, the fall, we don't know. But at some point, the sellers will stop paying for your realtor expenses, which means that you either will not have any assistance, legal advice, help with repairs, help with understanding how to negotiate prices, help to understand how to negotiate repairs, helping to understand whether the foundation is crooked or not. All of this extremely in-depth advice will no longer be free. You will have to pay for it out of your own pocket, on top of paying closing costs, paying down payment, paying loan points. So if you think that right now buying a home is expensive, guess what? It is about to become even more expensive, even more difficult, even more financially challenging. I'm going to, in the description below, I'm going to put the link for you to look at the lawsuit and to look at the results of the lawsuit and potential complications that I think will arise very shortly due to you no longer having anybody to show a house, due to you no longer having anybody to help you to make an offer, etc., etc. So right now, for the next few months, very short few months, that extra cost is still on a seller's plate, not on your plate. But within a short amount of time, unfortunately, your costs are about to increase on top of the increasing interest rates and the increasing prices. Going to be a very difficult situation for many buyers, especially for the first-time buyers. So my recommendation is, before that fateful time arrives, when you now have to pay thousands of additional dollars out of your own pocket for the presentation, go ahead and wrap up your purchase intentions now. If your credit score is not good enough yet, get with me quickly. You can get with me, call me, text me, email me. My information is in the description. Say I need help purchasing before the results of the lawsuit become a burden, financial burden on me. And I will put you in contact with credit analysts who can help you to overcome the credit issues that you have, so you can wrap it up before those changes take place. Okay. So sorry, I'm leaving on a not a positive note. Well, I won't do that to you. Let's leave on a positive note. So the positive note is, number one, it's never a bad time to buy real estate. Never. If you look, let's just say, let's take a look for max. Let's take a look for 20 years or more. If you look from the beginning of recorded history, as it is known to my system, you are sale prices. you are going to see that no matter at what year people bought real estate, look at that. Those were the prices, less than $200,000, $100,000. Dallas County, Collin County. No matter what year people were buying in. And that includes 2008. This is 2008, when everything supposedly crashed and burned forever and ever. No matter what year people bought houses in, interest rates were high, interest rates were low. Prices were high, prices were dropping. Inventory was small, inventory was big. It all just like summer. Some summers are dry, some summers are wet, some summers are windy, and some summers are just miserable. It doesn't matter, life moves on. Notice that no matter what year you bought in, if you bought it a while ago, you would be sitting on $500,000 worth of money in your home in equity right now. Why? Because time moves and nothing becomes cheaper. Everything becomes more expensive. You might have noticed, right? Who am I to preach to you? Point is, sorry, I got distracted. Point is, it is never a bad time to buy real estate. You are going to overcome whatever problems you're facing. All of those people who bought those years, they also had problems. They had credit issues. They had difficulty finding a home of the size that they wanted. They had difficulty finding homes close to their work. They had difficulty managing monthly payments. They thought the monthly payments were high. They thought the interest rates were high. They thought that the sellers were out of control, gouging on prices. They thought it was impossible to buy a house for somebody in their situation, and yet they bought their homes and life moved on. This is to say that never allow anything, and never allow any obstacles to determine your timing, to determine your fears, to determine your not being in control of things that you treasure, and living in a house that you love, in a location that you enjoy, and owning that house and not being worried about being kicked out by your landlord is something to treasure. So to me, this is my parting words of wisdom. Never put the key to your happiness in somebody else's pocket. Never let the landlord or your parents or whatever your situation is right now, don't let them control your life. Your environment is one of the most important things for your self-development. You're going to overcome whatever challenges that you're currently facing with purchasing a house. If you set your mind that I'm going to buy a home and I'm going to resolve the issues facing me and preventing me from buying a home within the time that I want, I'm going to work on those issues, I'm going to identify those issues, and I'm going to overcome those issues. And if needed, people like Elena are going to help me to do that. I'm not alone in my struggles. So if you feel like you're struggling, you don't know if you're ever going to be able to buy a home, reach out to me, say, I just want to talk, I just want to cry a little bit. This is my situation. And guess what? Maybe I will find a loan program, a rent-to-own program, something to help you to get past whatever obstacles that you're facing. That's all for now. Thank you very much for your patience. My name is Elena Garrett, and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Central 75 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. Feel free to contact me if you have questions about how the heck do I buy a home in this crazy, crazy world. See you later.